G'day folks, Dave Johnston here again. One of the great things we have on the ANU Indigenous Heritage Trail is we have 6 Indigenous scarred trees that are remnant. They're over 300 years old, and we still have them as part of the eucalyptus grove that was here above the law faculty. And this tree over here, an old yellow box, has 2 cultural scars, one a canoe, or both canoes on both sides, as well as European scarring. A scarred tree is a tree that has had a bark removed. It can be from natural fire, insect damage, or it can be a cultural scar which has been cut by Aboriginal people or Europeans. Ironically, just across the road in that tree there, we have the old blacksmith shop from 1915, which has scars and poles from when they used to tether the horses, as does that front of that Aboriginal scarred tree. But there's original old 300, 400-year-old scars that were cut out as coolamans, and the ones up just around the annex, Chancery Annex. But this one has been used for like rafts or small canoes to take down to Sullivan's Creek or Canberry Creek, which is only 250 metres at the widest point of Canberry Creek in all its directional flow here on campus. And above that, of course, is the camping ground or hunting ground that was the flat that Wally talks about. So we have 6 of these scarred trees on campus which we've preserved. One's collapsed and fallen. I'm a little bit embarrassed. 35 years ago, as I was an archaeology student, I walked along and at that stage had no idea. But we've been able to preserve this with the elders and ANU Heritage, and we're protecting these sites, and now they are features. Now what they are, Aboriginal people use wood for a range of things, for the branches, for spears, boomerangs, but they also cut what we call coolamans or bowls out for carrying baskets, for carrying water, babies, moving ashes for fire. There are multiple uses. Trees were used, bark was used for cutting for gum, steps were put into the trees to climb up to get possums. Or, and as in this case, we've got native bees here, European bees, but there are also native bees, what we call sugar bag. And people would cut up the trees to go up to collect the honey and or hunt the possums. So we had step marks. We used to use the coolamans, for, as I said, for bowls. And how you know it's an Indigenous oriented or cultural scar are these various range of features. One was the shape. We know that the cutting outs were either a canoe shape or an oblong for bowls. Plus they had to be at a height above the ground, so insect damage would cause naturally splitting. When you have a triangular shape, that's often a natural scar. Our cultural scars have fitted the implements. European cultural scars would also, for surveyors' markers, have a distinct shield or diamond shape and generally identifiably different. Likewise, in European times, you have steel axe cut marks. For old trees like this, you have the stone axes, which are a little bit number in its blunting. So these are all the signs we learn as archaeologists and our communities know that recognise Indigenous scars, and we've got 6 of them on campus. So these are a valuable source to both the Aboriginal community, but us here at the ANU having the privilege of this Indigenous Ngunnawal Ngambri resource. But it's important for archaeologists. It's important for the country because we're not making these scarred trees anymore. So they are a valued source, and we're really privileged to have them. One of them has just collapsed as one of the old apple boxes just up here. And we're going to preserve that with ANU Heritage, build a shelter, protect the stumps, and tell a story about the usage of that tree and how Aboriginal people lived in this centre of what is now ANU. So thanks for joining us and seeing some of the sites, but do come out when we're all back on campus and come and explore the Aboriginal Heritage Trail, and come and meet some of our local Ngunnawal elders who are very much part of ANU life now in teaching, doing welcomes to country, keeping the culture alive, and also welcoming us to their home here on Canberra, ACT and at the ANU. Thanks very much.